Hi everybody, it's Keith Tanner here from Flyin Miata and welcome to our Facebook Live. Today I'm going to be talking about brake and wheel clearance, how you can check to make sure that whatever brake system you have will fit your wheels or vice versa. It's an important thing. If you don't have enough clearance between your brakes and your wheels, it's a cool thing when you're a little kid to have that motorcycle sound when a baseball card hits the spokes. It doesn't sound as cool when it's your brakes hitting the inside of your wheel. So what I'm going to do today is talk about how you can make sure that your combination will work. I'm not going to go through a list of every possible brake and wheel combination and you can fit this with this spacer and this with this spacer, because invariably, well, one, I'll probably get it wrong, but invariably the combination you have or you're interested in will not be mentioned as part of that. And that's why we always emphasize knowing how to check instead of these are known good combinations, even though that's what people want to see. So I'm going to be using two tools for this. And I'll start off with the brake clearance one. And this is the most common. We have on our website for all of our brake kits, we have these templates available. Not these ones particularly, we have an outline available that you can print out at home. You cut it out of a piece of paper, put it on some cardboard, something like this. I made these ones out of wood because we're messing with these all the time. But they allow you to check to see what will fit a given wheel, assuming you have this wheel. And what this is, let's see, here's our big brake kit. This is equivalent to this. It's basically a cross section of this thing. So if I took this, cut it down the middle, clean up all the brake fluid, this is what the profile would look like. So I can take this thing and put it inside a wheel. We'll use this nice shiny white one because it's easy to see. Put it inside a wheel, and it's the right size to fit inside the hub if I had my centering rings in. And then just make sure that we have clearance, that it's not hitting anything. Like I said, it's helped. This is the right size for a Miata hub. So if you do have centering rings, it makes this easier. Otherwise, you do have to eyeball a little bit. This one obviously loads and loads of clearance. We knew this. I mean, we knew this wheel fit. And we have different templates or different brakes. One thing that's important to realize when you're looking at these is that a lot of people think it's purely rotor diameter. Can you fit an 11-inch rotor under a 13-inch wheel or a 15-inch wheel or something? And it's far more complicated than that, because if you look at this, these spokes are very, they're curved on the inside. I mean, they're not flat. So it all depends on where you have clearance problems. And this is a good wheel to check this on, because this is our 11-inch big brake kit. This will fit this wheel just fine, loads of room. The caliper is sitting right in the most open part of the spokes. Very, very clear. Hopefully you can see that. The 10-inch version of that same kit, which is smaller, it should be better for clearance everywhere, will not clear this particular wheel. You can't quite see it, I don't think, but it's hitting right on the inside edge. So the diameter has moved the caliper inboard, or further closer to the center of the wheel, and that's made it hit the inside of the spoke. So in this case, you need to run a spacer to clear this particular brake kit on this particular wheel, whereas you can use the larger brake kit without any problems. Both of these, this little big brake kit, the larger one, and our full-on big brake kit, such as this big monster, they'll all fit, but this little guy won't. So that's where you can try it with a spacer. I'll drop this in here. This is a tight fit in the spacer. I got a little too carried away with my tolerances here. Maybe you're going to have to take my word for it. Come on. Yeah, apparently when you set everything to 54.1 millimeters, the system takes you seriously. There we go. So now you can see that we have some space there. You want to have at least 3 millimeters of clearance, because wheels do flex under hard use. They move around. When you're cornering, all of that cornering load is coming from the wheel. So you want to make sure you have at least 3 millimeters. That's about 1/8 of an inch of clearance, just to make sure that you're not going to have any problems when things shift with heat or when the wheel starts to move around. And of course, you are going to want to have a look once in a while to make sure that you don't have a problem. So that's the basics on what these are. You can download these templates on our website for any of our big brake kits, and most reputable big brake manufacturers should be able to do the same. They should be able to provide you with a template you can use to check for wheel clearance. So I'm going to run through a clearance test. Put this on the ground. I'm going to run through a clearance test. Everyone wants to know will my combination work? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that I have a combination no one's ever tried before with it, which is it's an Alfa Romeo wheel, I think, isn't it? It's an old Ronal. It's Alfa Romeo or Fiat, I forget which. But if I wanted to put this on a Miata and I had a certain big brake kit, how could I do it? So let's start off with our templates. Let's try the big brake kit. Come on in here, Travis. As you can see, this is really kind of a non-starter. This is just, I mean, that is so far out. I could put on about an inch of spacer and make it work. But yeah, this is not going to work without a significant spacer. So that's an important thing to know. What about the 10-inch big brake kit? Well, it's better. It's hitting in a different place. It's a different shape of caliper, so it doesn't hit in the same places, but it's still not great. So let's forget that one. Let's try the 11-inch big brake kit. And that's yeah, okay. We're getting closer. I mean, this could potentially work. Now I'll throw some of my spacers in. These are 3mm spacers, just because that's the thickness of the material I was using. And we're getting close. This is almost starting to work here. Put another one. And our templates that you can cut out on our website actually have little spacer equivalents you can use. And all of a sudden, I'm looking pretty good. So you might get away with a 5mm spacer on this, but you can see we're really, really close on clearance there. Sorry, I should have a light I could shine behind that. You'd be able to see. But it's a little too close. Ideally, this one would require something more like an 8 or even a 10mm spacer just to make sure you've got clearance. But now we know that that combination should work. So if you are looking at putting a set of these Ronal wheels on your Miata, first off, you'll need wobble bolts because they use a different bolt pattern. But more importantly, stay away from the big brake kit. Stay away from the 11-inch little big brake kit. Or sorry, the 10-inch. The 11 is your friend. So that's one way to go. Hopefully everyone understands how that works. Do you have any questions going on there, Travis?
I don't see that yet.
Okay, this is pretty straightforward. Now we're going to do something you don't see very often, and that's actually look at wheel templates. This is something that is not usually published. These are the wheel templates for our own Kojeki wheels. Those will be on our website by the end of the day. We'll be putting them up in just a minute to allow you to check to see if a certain wheel will clear your brake setup. And you can actually put these together. I mean, let's see, we'll use this one here. A little bit of inception going on here. But I can use this. There's our cross section. You can see that this is our brake, there's our caliper, and there's what the inside of the wheel looks like. So you can actually see with this setup that we're going to have lots and lots of clearance. One thing about the Kojeki wheel, it's a remarkably roomy wheel. Here's another illustration of that. This is a 15x9, very popular 15x9, not currently available unfortunately, but they are coming back. If we look at our big brake kit, don't have centering rings on this. You can see it's got pretty good clearance. I mean, it clears everything, obviously. This was used on this car, that's why it's so dirty. It does clear, but it's a little tighter than it could be there. Move you out of the way. And then we look on a Kojeki. Come on here, Travis. There's room for a party in there. I mean, there's a ridiculous amount of space all around here. This is a very, very roomy wheel. And I've been led to believe that the redesign of the 6UL that's coming, brake clearance is actually one of the priorities on that one. So hopefully we will have a little more room for exotic brake setups. One of the reasons I run this wheel set is because I do have another brake system I've been playing with. It has a very, very bulky caliper, and this was the only wheel I could find that could fit. So those sort of templates work exactly the same way. This is a 15x7. Will it fit over the big brake kit I have on my car? Well, the answer is yes, nicely. But this works exactly the same sort of concept. We've basically got an outline of what the inside of the wheel looks like, and as long as this can go on here and not hit anything, then we're clear. And here's the 9-inch. So much room for activities. You could put such a big brake kit inside this setup. So we actually have room to go larger in a diameter standpoint, but we also have room to move the caliper inboard, outboard, or use a bulkier caliper, which is very convenient having that much room. Any more questions, Travis?
Don't see any yet.
No questions yet. And I don't think we were given any good questions about the sort of concept of this before the video. If you do have questions about this that I didn't cover, please throw them in the comments. We will answer them in the comments if you're watching this, not watching this live, and hopefully help you through. But I hope this gives you an idea of, if you're trying to decide if your wheel set will fit a certain brake or if your brakes will fit a certain wheel set, these are the tools you need to do it. These little templates, like I said, they're very common to be able to download templates for a specific brake. It's less common to get templates for a specific wheel, but yeah, we will be making this one available as well, so you can see just how much room there is in the Kojekis. And we will try to do that for any wheels we have in our line in the future. Hopefully we'll be able to get this this outline, say, for the next generation 6ULs, that kind of thing. So there you go. We have talked about wheel spacers in the past. I believe Mike gave a tour of those just recently. So this is the tool you can use to get yourself more clearance, as long as your interference, of course, is on the inside of the spoke and not on the barrel of the wheel. If you're trying to run a 12-inch rotor inside of a 13-inch wheel, you can put all the spacers in the world in. It's not going to help. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all we need. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments. We love to get feedback on this, ideas for new videos. And in the meantime, my name's Keith Tanner from Flyin Miata. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for your attention.